Hello and welcome to my Dreamscape channel. Today I want to discuss flying dreams with you. As I had a flying dream last night, I have flying dreams from time to time and I find them extremely interesting and psychologically speaking, but also spiritually speaking, they're incredibly interesting. So my dream was that I was, I live in Sweden right now and I have been for the last 12 years almost now. My son, however, we used to live in Edinburgh in Scotland, and he's recently moved back there. But I dreamt that I was quite far away, and it took hours to fly. And I mean, not flying on an airplane. I mean, flying just by myself, which was totally normal and natural for me. I was the only one that could do it in the dream, though, and I was with Marcus. He was younger, my son. And I was going to Edinburgh to work, but it was a several hours flight. And I remember thinking in the dream, oh, I'm going to be exhausted. Can I really do this whole sort of back and forth? Now, the thing is, I'm actually going to Edinburgh quite soon to meet him because he's recently moved back there. And I think that that's why I dreamt that I was going to Edinburgh and flying there. Because, well, I am flying there, but in an airplane, not by myself, because I don't actually have superpowers in real life. I'm going over there to visit him, and I think that had something to do with it. Also, it felt so natural in my dream that I was flying. It was no big deal. It was I always knew how to do that. I was in full control and stuff. And when he was little and I was there, I mean, I was a full-time single mom. I felt like I didn't really have a lot of power, so to speak. I felt like that anyway when I lived there. And now when I'm going to see him, I'm flying there to see him by myself, with my body. I think that it means that I feel like I have control now that I didn't have then when I lived there then. So I think that's what that meant. Now, if you have a dream where you're flying, I want you to ask yourself a few questions, because it all depends on the situation. In the dream, were you happy about it? Did it feel natural? Did you feel exhilarated? Did you feel free? Did you feel you had control over the situation? Where were you in the dream? Were you at your work? Were you with your partner? Who was there? Were you with your family and friends? Did you feel safe? All those things are very important questions to ask yourself, because it can so depend on what it is you're dreaming. If you're flying and you're in a job situation and you feel on top of the situation, when you're flying in your dream, you may be feeling free and on top of things, and it's a job related question, then you probably are feeling that way in real life. And maybe you have a situation in real life where you're feeling good about that situation. However, if you're flying in the dream and it's with work and you're all over the place and you don't have any sort of control to it, then that could mean that you're feeling out of control when it's life, or if it's a partner, or if it's family or whatever. So back to what I almost always say, it's the way you feel about the dream or in the dream. Do you feel like you're in control? Then you're in control in real life. That's how I see it. Although if you go onto different websites and you Google this, with any dream, you will get a whole bunch of different takes on it. And because nobody knows for sure, because dreams are it's such a spiritual thing. It's in between, nobody has the answers completely. So you really have to go within and feel how did I feel in the dream? And about how do I feel about that situation in waking life? How do I feel about it in the dream and in waking life? You need to draw the parallels there. Do they match each other, or don't they? If they don't match each other, let's say in your work in real life that is not going well and you just feel overwhelmed, you feel people are walking all over you, and then you dream that you're flying and they're sort of below you and you're feeling good there, then that could actually indicate that you feel a lack of control, and it's kind of wishful thinking that you just wish you could just fly away. So you need to draw parallels always in how you're feeling and how what's happening in your real life. So the direction of the flight can also indicate like where you're headed. If you're flying high up into the sky and maybe like into space even, like that could mean something spiritual. Whereas if you're close to the ground, it could just mean that it's something that's very grounded and something that's like in your life that's very grounding to you, but you feel like you have control over that situation. Sigmund Freud, as usual, draws this to sex, which he always does, but he says that it's well, he indicates that it could probably be that you're having an orgasm when you're asleep, which it could be, like, because you're the whole when you do have an orgasm, you feel like you're lifting, you're like out of your body almost, because you just feel very light. So of course that could be it. I doubt that mine was an orgasm last night, because I feel like that dream went on like for hours and hours. So I don't think that that's always the case. I think that that could be part of it, but I don't think that that is definitely. But of course it could be. Often when I have dreams of flying, it's when I lucid dream, which is when you know that you're dreaming. I also have a video about lucid dreaming that I'll put at the end of this video that you could check out if you'd like. And that's very cool. When you lucid dream, if you lucid dream, that's, everyone has their different things that they probably like doing when they're lucid dreaming. It's been a while since I did lucid dream now, actually, come to think of it. And when I'm flying, I will normally understand that I'm lucid, but today or tonight, I didn't really realize that I was lucid dreaming. I just knew I could fly. And it was exhilarating, and it was a beautiful feeling. It's very common to remember dreams of flying. I think because it's so unnatural in waking life, you sort of tend to remember that when you wake up, and it tends to be either a sense of total freedom or a sense of perhaps falling. So if you have had dreams of flying, please let me know, like in the comments below. Just like write down your little stories, because they would be really fun to even read out loud, maybe in another video. I just find it really, really interesting with dreams and dream analyzing and all that, obviously, since I have this channel. So please feel free to do that, and also subscribe to my channel. And I hope you have a lovely, lovely, lovely day, and take care of you. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.